And we're back for round two. I mean, our second morning buzz.
Ding, ding.
And we're going to be discussing
Classy.
the punch everybody seems to be talking about in that Las Vegas casino. So, Mike,
Yeah.
let's. I'm sure you're well aware of what's going on with Ray
Yeah.
Rice.
Yeah.
What are some takeaways you have so far with what's going on?
Oh gosh, this isn't a political issue. As I was raised, and I think most guys are raised, you never touch a woman in anger.
That's one thing you guys can agree on.
Yes, absolutely.
There's never an excuse to touch a girl or a woman in anger. Period. It's non-negotiable.
But there's a lot of
Mr.
questions that are being raised, like Sunita brought up earlier.
Yeah.
There's a question of retribution. Can he redeem himself? Why would she choose to stay? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, that happens every day. I have dealt with battered spouses professionally. It is the most astonishing thing how much abuse women will take. But it happens for all kinds of reasons. And it's not always a malady. There's some women who would take the punch for the money. It's a fact. You say, gosh, you got to get out of this so-called relationship. You got to go take care of yourself. What kind of an example are you setting for your daughter or for others?
Well, what do you think about as far as with the NFL's involvement in this? I mean, do you think Goodell should step down for the way he's handled this?
Well, the question is, what's the justification for your involvement in it? And what do I mean by that? What we have here is an interesting situation where we pick out selectively a few people engaged in certain behavior, in this case spousal abuse, or another case making racially inappropriate remarks, or whatever the case may be. You pick the new public crime, and then this gets involved. Stay with me here. There's an important point that I'm trying to make.
Okay.
This gets involved, and suddenly this matter is being made by a public court, and this is a private business, a private contractual arrangements are in place, and this guy, whatever it is he did, the new rule is that the media gets to decide in the public as a
the
group
thing
gets
is,
to
he
decide.
did it in public. It was a public space. So, if it was done in the privacy of his home, unfortunately, Merriweather made a, horrible statement that majority
I
of
think
things
even
don't get
then
reported.
he would still have to answer for it if it was made public.
It wasn't-
and his job would still be at risk. Which I wonder if that's even fair. I mean, given he does this in his personal life, but does that really affect what he does professionally?
Because if he can't
Right.
keep it on the field, then yes.
I mean, but who
there
are you to
is a
say that
problem.
though?
Right.
I think
I mean,
Janae,
but
would
Right.
say he
okay,
can't
but
keep it on the
can he
field.
perform his duties as a football
It
player,
doesn't
as
matter.
an entertainer?
Can he control himself to
No.
be disciplined
The
himself?
real issue is
to
here
do what
is that
he
what you're
do?
saying is that Sunita gets to decide.
Okay.
No,
Wait,
actually,
this is a
the
very
police should
important-
decide.
No,
The
well,
police should decide
yeah,
that
but that's
it was
not
a
what's-
criminal matter.
But that's really not what's happening here. Everybody, you just demanded, they said, should you raise the question? Should Goodell, an executive of a private business, should he be booted out because he didn't handle it the way that you, the media, and
There was
we
a
as the
problem in
public
his
feel?
organization.
You see what I
He
mean?
should have,
This is a very, very slippery slope.
It's a serious situation.
it's
So I don't think we're
definitely-
micromanaging a small issue here.
Oh,
It's a big issue.
well, how
but we
about-
do need to move on.
how about
And
Hollywood?
We are going to move on, and you're going to love what we're going to move on
Hey, taxes.
to. We're talking about you.
Yay, my favorite subject.
Okay, so we got a little bit of a tax. Why don't you go and tell us about that, this tax revolt initiative?
Sure.
Yeah.
The current effort of TeaPac, TEAPAC.net, and the California Tax Limitation Committee, I'm the president and one of the founders of each. Our current effort is to roll back the expropriative level of taxation that we have in the United States by starting locally, and we're going after user utility taxes. These are the taxes, ladies and gentlemen, that you pay on everything. If you look at your cell phone, you got a bunch of taxes there. One of them is a city utility tax. Your video, your local telephone, your data transmission, you name it. We're going after that. It's a lot of money, and we're using the local initiative process, basic grassroots democracy, to put these issues on the table.
And I know places like Arcadia don't want it on. So are you putting forth initiatives that the public really wants?
Well, how do we measure that, Sunita? We measure that. Yeah, we do that voting thing, yeah. So the first thing we do is we comply with the state of California statute. We go out and get a number of qualified signatures equal to 5% of the number of people who voted for governor in the last race, and then it goes to city council. Then they're supposed to put up for a vote to the people.
Well,
then you get to say no.
Yeah, well, you're in a pretty blue state here with California, blue area. So, what do you see as your results? As far as you going out there in the public?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. Yeah, for example, and just to bring your audience up to date, we did a test run of around 5 initiatives earlier in the year, and we qualified Arcadia. Arcadia has, I believe, unlawfully refused to put it on the ballot. That's another matter we can discuss some other time. But the other 4 cities we have since refiled, and now we're gathering. But let me tell you about Pasadena.
Well, you know what? We would love to let you. We're just gonna have to bring you back in because there's a lot to talk about.
Let's do it. Yeah.
But we do appreciate the fireworks this morning. Who needs coffee?
Woke us up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're a friend of the show. You're always back.
She's the best. Absolutely. Right. Thank you so much for having me in. It's always a pleasure.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
All right.